Studnica Aquatics here. I have another box to open. This is a large box. It's something a little different. It's a little, not quite the normal thing that I usually order. So anyway, that's going to be kind of exciting, and while I'm doing that, I've always liked to review a cigar. So it's a little noisy in there. The humidification system is running right now, so everything's looking really good in there. Everything's doing very well. I believe the one I'm going to do today is, I've been wanting to try this. I haven't had it before. This is Empress of Cuba. And the main reason I wanted to try this is because this is by A J Fernandez. And I've never had a cigar yet that A J Fernandez has been involved in that wasn't good and of good construction. So I'm going to give this a try. It's not a very expensive cigar. I believe this one is a Toro. So I am going to get this thing laid out here, and then we will add more to this in a little bit. As I said before, this is Empress of Cuba. It is made by A J Fernandez. It's not a very expensive cigar, but where A J Fernandez is involved, I'm sure that it will be, of quality. So while I am having that, I'm going to have me a little bit of Knob Creek. I'll just have it neat today. So I am going to get this cigar fired up, and then we will add more to this in a little bit. Okay, I have my cigar lit now, and once again, that is the Empress of Cuba. It is made by A J Fernandez. It is not a very expensive cigar. You can get it in a box. It is nice to buy cigars in a box. I don't mind buying bundles, but boxes are good. Before I lit this thing, kind of smelled it, and it kind of smelled a lot like dried hay. It's not a bad smell. It's a pleasant smell, and I believe the construction is pretty good. There is a little bit of light veining in it. But this is a very dark wrapper. This actually has a Maduro wrapper. You can also get it in a Connecticut if you prefer that, in this same cigar. So this particular one is a Toro, and it is 6x52. This cigar is made entirely in Nicaragua. Everything from the wrapper, binder, fillers are all from Nicaragua. So it'll be interesting to smoke this. I've never had one before. There's some spice there. There's quite a bit. That's actually a pretty spicy cigar. I kind of like that. And a lot of the stuff that A J Fernandez is involved in is the medium to full-bodied cigars. And a lot of times he does have the ability to pull a lot of spice and a lot of pepper. And there might even be a little pepper there, but I know there's definitely quite a bit of spice there. And it kind of has a little bit of a coffee note to it or something like that too. So yeah, so far it's pretty good. The construction is very good. It appears to be box pressed. I don't know, I didn't look that up real well, but it is squared off, and you can see that it has been box pressed. And when they do box press a cigar, you tend to meld the flavors together and they become a little more intense. It's a little spongy on the outer end, but everything else is pretty firm. Looks pretty good. So I am going to continue to smoke this, but while I'm doing that, I am having a little bit of Knob Creek. I'm just going to have it neat today. And once again, that is Knob Creek. It's a pretty good bourbon. I really like it. You can get it about anywhere, so not too bad. And while I'm doing this, the main reason I'm here is I have a box opening today. And this is a large box. This is not a normal order. This is something a little different than what I normally get. So we will get this thing opened up. It just arrived today, and I wanted to be sure and get it out. I want to take a look at the stuff and see exactly what it is I have going here. So we are going to get this opened up, set it down. Yeah, it's a spicy cigar, and then also it has, it has some coffee note there, and maybe a little cocoa or something. It's really pretty good. I don't know, there might be a little pepper, but it's hard to say. The spice is pretty strong. Not too bad, and the price is pretty good on those cigars. So I have a whole bunch of packing material, a lot of it here. Like I said, this isn't the normal order. The first thing I got, and I don't have one of these, I was able to get it at a reduced cost, and that is one of these Herfadors for carrying your cigars. And this is a La Aroma de Cuba one. I didn't really pick out that brand for any special reason. I have had their cigars, they're pretty good. And what it is a travel humidor. And it works very good. You have your little humidification piece up here that you can put RODI water in. Never put chlorinated water or anything. Always have it to be at least reverse osmosis water in those things. And then it has the little padding here. So I really didn't want to get one that has the grooves in it that you're restricted on how long and how big a cigar you can put in. These here, you can put them in there nice and neat. Be careful with it, but it will protect them for traveling. So that's kind of neat. I don't have one of those yet, so I do now. So I'm happy about that. But the main thing that I'm happy about on this is it took me a little while to find this, but I have this. This is fairly large. I don't know what the length is on this thing. It's a tape measure in my pocket, if I can find it. This box is 14.5 inches long, just about 8 inches wide, and just about 3 inches deep. And what it is a cigar mold. And this is actual authentic cigar mold for making cigars. I won't be using it for that, of course, but it's going to look very good in this little smoking room or cigar lounge, whatever you want to call it. But it has been used. This is considered a grade A one. It's supposed to be in really, really good condition. And what they do is after they get the cigars rolled, they put them in here and then they press them. And they stack them together and press them, and then they leave it so long. They open them and they turn them a quarter of a turn, and they press them in a quarter of a turn. And they keep doing that in order to get that shape. And it's obvious that this here is from a torpedo, because it does have the pointed end on it. So pretty neat. It has those pegs in there, and then of course this end here, this side here is made to fit it, and you can see it is old. It hasn't been around a long time. What I'm thinking about possibly doing on this thing is maybe making a window box frame and getting it on the wall in here somewhere where I can display this thing kind of like this, or I don't know. I will definitely figure out. I have to scrap lumber down in the shop. So it goes back together nice and neat, and those little pegs make sure everything's lined up just like that, and then there you do have the holes. So pretty neat. I've been looking for one for a long time. I really wanted to have an authentic one, something that has been used in the past, and so that's going to look very good in this smoking room here that I have, along with this for when I do go on trips. I can put my cigars in there, and I now know they're not going to get squashed. I use a Ziploc usually. You throw your luggage in there, they get, ruined. So this is going to come in very handy. And in the meantime, the cigar is burning pretty even. I kind of bumped it when I picked it up, so I knocked the ash off. But it is burning even. And it is a spicy cigar, no doubt about it. There's some spice there. And there's also definitely some coffee and maybe a little cocoa or something. Pretty good. It did have that smell of dried hay beforehand, but I really don't pick up that earthy tone. It's maybe a little bit of earthy tone to it. It just, there is a little something there. I'm going to continue to smoke this down. And when I get down into that second third, I will chime back in, and I will also check out the price of these. This is a very affordable cigar, and it's made by A J Fernandez. So you really can't go wrong on this cigar. So I am going to smoke this down a ways, and then I will chime back in when I get on that second third. Okay, I've been getting in on the second third of this cigar, and it's burning really even, and the ash is hanging on. You want the ash to hang on for approximately an inch at least, and when it does that, you have better filler tobacco leaves, and you want to have long fillers, and long fillers have a tendency to have ash that does stay on there longer. If you have chopped up or tobacco pieces of leaves, then it won't hang on as long. And the color of the ash, a light colored ash, basically means it's more of a nutrient rich soil, and when you get into the darker ashes, then you have less nutrients in it, and it can actually become acidic. I don't know if that's a hard and fast rule, because I have had some cigars that had a little bit darker ash, and they're still very good. So, that's what you read, that's what they say, and that's what you kind of strive for. And in this particular one here, it is gray, but it is hanging on. It does hang on for at least an inch. It's a very good cigar. And I did look up the price of these. A box of 16 is $70. That's $4.38 a stick, and this is the Toro, so it's pretty good sized. and I couldn't find a 5-pack. Didn't look real hard, but you can pick up a single for $5. So it's basically a $5 cigar is what it is. So I think it's a pretty good stick. It's not bad. The flavors are good. The main thing that you get when you do draw on it, the first thing that hits you is the spice, and then there is some coffee there and maybe a little cocoa or something. It's pretty good. It is maybe just a little bit earthy too. So pretty good cigar, and for the price, I think it's a pretty fair way to spend your money. I think anytime AJ Fernandez is involved in making cigars, that they're always of quality construction. Whether or not you like the flavors depend on your individual palate. So some people like spice, some people don't. You know, just like with foods, some people like raisins, some people don't. It's just the way people are. So you need to find out what you like. Shoot for getting cigars that are made with those flavors, and then you'll have pretty good luck. So anyway, that is my review of the Empress of Cuba by AJ Fernandez. I did also get my Herfador and my cigar mold. The cigar mold's going to look very good in the smoking room. I'm really looking forward to maybe build a little shelf for it or something. So anyway, that's my review of the Empress of Cuba by AJ Fernandez. And as always, keep smoking cigars.